Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're digging into a disease that's so much more than just stepping on a rusty nail. We're talking about a poison that's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. Okay, so what is the connection? Well, the answer is a microscopic killer hiding in both places, and it's responsible for one of the most terrifying diseases in history, tetanus. All right, to really get a handle on tetanus, you've got to understand something crucial right from the start. It's not really an infection in the way we usually think of one. It's a poisoning. And the symptoms, they are uniquely horrifying. So it often kicks off with something called trismus, but you've probably heard of it as lockjaw. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Powerful spasms clamp the mouth completely shut. I mean, you can't talk, you can't eat. It's intense. And then things can get even more unsettling. This is often followed by what's known as rhesus sardonicus. It looks like this ghastly, frozen smile. But it's not a smile at all. It's caused by uncontrollable spasms that are just yanking the facial muscles into this fixed, distorted grin. And in the most severe cases, you get this, Opisthotonus. This is where spasms in the back and neck muscles are so unbelievably violent that they can literally arch the body into a rigid, agonizing bridge. The force can be so extreme, it can actually fracture the spine. Just wow. So you're probably wondering, what on earth causes something this terrifying? Well, the bacteria behind all of this, Clostridium tetani, it's like it has this perfect two-part toolkit for doing its deadly work. First up, you've got the spore. Think of it like a seed. It's got this tough outer shell, it's nearly indestructible, and it can survive for years just hanging out in soil or dust. It's basically the delivery system. Then when that spore gets into the right place, like a deep wound where there's not much oxygen, it wakes up. And that's when it becomes the active bacteria, the toxin factory. So how does this toxin actually do its damage? Well, here's a great way to think about it. Imagine your muscles have both an accelerator and a brake pedal. The tetanus toxin, it gets into your nervous system and it just cuts the brake lines, completely severs them. So with only the go signal firing, with that accelerator just floored, your muscles are locked in this state of constant, violent contraction. And the poison it pumps out, tetanospasmin, is just unbelievably potent. We're talking about 1 milligram, that's about the weight of a single grain of sand, being enough to kill a 70-kilogram adult. That makes it the second most lethal toxin known to science. Absolutely staggering. So before we figured out how to fight this thing, this perfect weapon from nature, it was a global catastrophe, especially for the most vulnerable among us. I mean, just look at this. Back in the 1980s, tetanus was responsible for an estimated 1 million deaths every single year. At its peak, that's a life lost roughly every 30 seconds. It's just a staggering number, especially when you realize this is entirely preventable. And you know, the most tragic form of this was, without a doubt, maternal and neonatal tetanus. It was a leading killer of newborns all around the world. It basically turned the miracle of childbirth into a deadly gamble. And it was often caused by unhygienic practices, things like using non-sterile tools to cut the umbilical cord, or even applying contaminated stuff like soil or cow dung to the umbilical stump. Just think about that. Directly introducing these deadly spores at the most vulnerable moment. So that raises a huge question, right? How do you fight a poison that is literally everywhere in our environment? You can't just get rid of the spores. They're in the dirt and the dust. So you have to do the next best thing. You have to prepare the body for an attack. And the solution that scientists came up with was frankly ingenious. It's a classic case of fighting fire with fire, or toxin with toxin. You take the bacteria's deadliest weapon, the toxin itself, and you inactivate it in a lab, making it completely harmless. Then you introduce this harmless version to your body. And what does that do? Well, it basically trains your immune system. Your body sees this harmless inactivated toxin, it learns to recognize its exact shape, and it starts building this whole army of protective antibodies specifically designed to fight it. So then, if you're ever exposed to the real toxin, your antibody army is already there, ready to go. They find it, they neutralize it, and it never even gets a chance to reach your nervous system. Brilliant. And this really elegant solution has led to one of the greatest, but also one of the quietest public health victories of our time. It's a story that doesn't get told enough. Okay, so thanks to massive global vaccination efforts, maternal and neonatal tetanus is seriously on the run. Get this. Of the 59 countries that were considered high risk back in the year 2000, 49 of them have successfully eliminated it as a public health threat. Just 10 to go. That's incredible progress. And India is one of those incredible success stories. Through huge public health and vaccination campaigns, the country officially eliminated maternal and neonatal tetanus all the way back in May 2015. I mean, think of the countless lives saved because of that effort. It's truly a public health milestone. You know, this is what really makes tetanus unique. It's infectious, sure, but it's not contagious. You can't catch it from someone else like you would a cold or the flu. The only way it gets you is from the environment around you. And that means the only real protection is the vaccine. And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? The enemy, those spores in the soil, is still everywhere. It's a permanent part of our world. It's not going anywhere. And if the threat is permanent, well, that means our shield, our protection, can't afford to be temporary. So the question is your shield up to date?